Welcome to episode 22 of the Other Star franchise, the anti-fascist Star Wars podcast where a couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom discuss Star Wars. We are currently watching a lot of the Star Wars shows, movies, and animation in chronological order, leading up to the release of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Today we are discussing episodes of Andor and Rebels, which take place in 4 BBY, and one episode that takes place in 3 BBY. I'm Fatheree, this is Taylor. Say hi, Miss Taylor.
Hello, hello.
So, I'm shocked that we're already done with 4 BBY. We fly through the years a lot faster out of the Clone Wars. I know I say that every show we do, but it took so long to go from, 22 BBY to 19?
18, it was like really long.
Yeah. And then now we're like, oh, we just went from 4 to 3. I'm like, what? But depending on where you are listening or watching us, if you're somewhere where you can see our spreadsheet, I'm putting it on screen right now, and there's also a link to it in the description wherever you are watching or listening to us. I can never talk on this show. We normally do these streams late at night, and I don't know, I'm tired of talking. But I have a lot to say. This is Andor, this is Rebels, this is our favorite Star Wars shows. I always said Star Trek shows.
Yeah, we did do a Trek stream right before this, so
really
pushing ourselves.
I was very surprised to see we're already in 3 BBY, but you can see on the spreadsheet we're talking about 3 episodes of Andor Season 2, the first 3. So we're starting Season 2 of Andor, and then after that we're going to talk about the first 10 episodes of Rebels Season 2. So not only are these our favorite Star Wars TV shows, right? Our favorite live-action one and our favorite animated one. But I also often say that both these shows peak in Season 2. So this is like peak Star Wars television for me. Cool. I think that Andor peaking in Season 2, being a 2-season show, is a little bit better than Rebels peaking in Season 2, being a 4-season show.
Right.
I don't think 3 and 4 are ever quite as good as 2, but
I really like a lot that happens in 3 and 4, though, so.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that you like is stuff that I don't like, but maybe I'll like it more this time.
We'll see.
When we start getting to the Bendu and Loth Wolves and the world between world, Rebels gets slightly too weird for me. I still love it. I still like it more than Clone Wars or Bad Batch or any other animated Star Wars. I don't know. I do really love Bad Batch, don't I? I like the things I love in Rebels so much, though, that it remains my favorite, even if it has some things in it that I don't really go to Star Wars for. I don't really like the mysticism overtly. I kind of like it more like mysterious and subtle, you know.
I like the mysticism.
Yeah, kind of want it. I guess I kind of want the Force to be more like I don't know how like the wizards in Tolkien are kind of subtle. Like they can do like these spectacular things, but I don't know. It's still not as it's closer to that than like say like Doctor Strange in Marvel, who can like do all kinds of crazy stuff and open portals, and I don't know. It gets like a little too like mystical, magical. But we're gonna start things off by talking about the 1 year later arc of Andor. I don't know, what do people call these Andor arcs? I kind of just like Googled around to see like what do people call the arcs of Andor. I heard this called the wedding arc. I heard this called the Yavin arc. I heard it called the TIE Fighter arc.
I'm going to call it the first 3 episodes of Season 2 arc.
Okay, well, Taylor, tell us what happens in these episodes, starting with Season 2, Episode 1, 1 year later.
1 year after the Ferrex Uprising, Cassian impersonates an Imperial test pilot to steal a prototype of a new Imperial ship, the TIE Avenger. Delivering it to a jungle moon, he is ambushed by a rogue band of squabbling guerrillas, the Maya Pei Brigade. On the agricultural planet Mina Rao, Bix, Brasso, Willman, and B2EMO fear detection by the Empire while in the undocumented employ of a local farmer. Bix suffers from PTSD caused by Gorst's torture. On Chandrila, Mon Mothma prepares for her daughter Lita's arranged marriage, but is informed by Take Holma that his financial investments have turned sour, ironically due to rebel interference, and that he feels underappreciated for his help in resolving Mon's financial irregularities. Orson Krennic oversees a secret meeting of Imperial officers who plan to use force to obtain the rare mineral resources on the planet Gorman, an initiative to which Dedra is reluctantly assigned. Dedra suggests that the mission's anti-Gorman propaganda be accompanied by the provocation of a weak insurgency that the Empire can discredit. The tension among the Maya Pei insurgents reaches a boiling point, and they kill several of their own as Cassian is taken hostage.
Okay, so a lot of things going on in that first episode. We get Andor Season 2, Episode 2, Sargrana Tima.
I think it's Sagrona Tima.
Sagrona Tima, yeah, that sounds better.
The toast of the Chandrillans. In this episode, let's see. On the Jungle Moon, Cassian is held prisoner while the Maya Pei Brigade splits into two territorial factions at a stalemate. On Mina Rao, Imperial officers audit the workers' papers. Bix, Brasso, and Willman arrange to move to a different part of the planet to avoid discovery. On Coruscant, Dedra and Cyril, now a couple living together, prepare for a social event they have been putting off. As the preparations for Lita's wedding conclude, Mothma discusses the possibility of Tay's defection with Luthen, who says they should attempt to ascertain Tay's price for keeping silent about the rebellion. Cassian slips away from his captors as their conflict escalates and flees the moon, revealed to be Yavin 4 and the stolen TIE Avenger.
And then the final Andor episode we're discussing right now, the 3 4BBY episodes, Harvest.
Cassian makes contact with Clea Markey and is able to ascertain the danger his friends are in on Mina Rao. Dedra and Cyril host Cyril's mother, Edie, for dinner, during which Edie repeatedly belittles Cyril, prompting Dedra to establish firm boundaries with her. On Chandrila, Lita's arranged marriage to Stekken Skolden takes place, followed by a lavish reception. As the Ferrix fugitives prepare to leave Mina Rao, Imperial officer Lieutenant Kroll sexually assaults Bix, but she kills him in a violent struggle. In the ensuing skirmish, Brasso is killed by a stormtrooper. Cassian arrives in the TIE Avenger, and dispatches the Imperial troops. Bix and Willman flee on the TIE Avenger with Cassian, all devastated by Brasso's death. Having been unable to come up with a price to ensure Tay's silence, Luthen informs Mothma that he has decided to have him killed. Mon, distressed, engulfs herself in drinking and dancing as Vel watches Tay get taken away by Senta.
Okay.
So much drama.
Yeah. So a lot happened in these 3 episodes.
I love so much of this and hate so much of this in a good way.
Well, so these episodes are they're only a year old. Like, these came out in, like, April of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my first time revisiting this arc after seeing it when it originally released. And after the last 12 months of living in the United States, I gotta say that the story of these migrant workers that are fugitives, they're refugees. They're fleeing government persecution on their home world, and so they're trying to get by working as farmers, or working for this farmer. And then they're worried about, oh, here come the thugs looking for our papers, they're looking for our documentation, and oh no, it's like there's no consequences if any of these people decide they want to sexually assault one of these undocumented people. It's like, oh shit, like that made Andor, the most relevant Star Wars show, feel even more relevant.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, when this came out, the first episode, I really anticipated Andor Season 2. I liked Andor Season 1 so much that I was nervous about them messing it up in Season 2. You know, Star Wars has a track record of, they'll get me really on board something and then do something that really disappoints me.
Mm-hmm.
But looking forward to season 2, and then this first episode made me nervous just because of how goofy it is. There's a lot more levity than we're used to, and like kind of like goofy, almost slapstick type levity, like when Cassian can't drive the TIE Avenger and he's shooting all those dudes and has to shoot his way out the garage door of
Oh,
that hangar. I liked all that stuff, but just it kind of made me a little nervous, just like
yeah.
setting the tone. There was like some silly stuff with B2 Emo, the droid. So I was just kind of like, man, are they going to be just like full on goofball Star Wars in season 2? But by the end of this 3 episode arc, it's clear that that's not the case. But you know, like the knuckleheads on Yavin, they're kind of dumb. And I was like, man, are they just trying to like make fun of like all leftist or a bunch of like immature dumb kids that just want to argue with each other? Is that kind of like the criticism they're going for? I mean, I guess there is some truth to that sometimes, but uh is that, are they just trying to be like dismissive of like I don't know, anyone who's a little too radical? But yeah, I'm thankful that they released season 2 in those 3 episode batches. You remember like last year, they came out on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday night we would sit down to 3 episodes of Andor. It's like we're getting like this big epic movie every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Um, but that also in that first episode 1 year later, they make the budget feel even bigger on this show. Like after season 1, I know like they shot season 1 during the height of COVID, and it was probably difficult to have some of these sets or have like as many extras on sets, but when they're at the Mothma estate, there's like that one long ass shot that kind of follows Mon Mothma around, and you see Luthen and Perrin and some other people, but they were able to show so much of the setting in this. I love those, like when TV or movies do those like really long one take shots. I don't know if they cheated in this or not, but it looked really cool. Like I felt like I was there. It felt like such a real place you could go to and walk around and
Mm-hmm.
um. But what do you think?
Uh, it's hard for me to not talk about all of this at once and not just one episode at a time, so I may bounce around a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, first, I really enjoyed having the Mothma estate. Kind of like, we saw like their apartment or whatever that they live in Coruscant, but this is like their family home that they're at, like for this marriage or whatever.
And they've talked about like how wealthy she is. And
Yeah.
you get
can
the
really
impression
see
when
it
you
here.
see it. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love, again, amazing costumes, amazing music, amazing sets. But yeah, I loved getting to see like a different place where we see Mon Mothma, and she almost feels more comfortable here. I like all the drama with her daughter. It's so interesting, a lot of the Lita and Mothma tension, and like there's a lot of the stuff that happens with Perrin that I thought would be more sour, but it wasn't as sour as I thought it would be. When he like kind of does his toast, I was like actually surprised. I was like, oh, he actually does give them pretty decent advice for someone,
For someone who's like a total hedonist.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of what his speech was about. He was like, enjoy your youth and enjoy the good times, like there's going to be lots of bad times, but don't forget to, still celebrate and live together. But I think that's decent advice, especially he did mention like, and like times are tough right now, and it's going to be hard for y'all. And, I thought that was pretty relatable. Like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, like right now it's hard to like celebrate big things sometimes because you're thinking about all this horrible stuff happening in the world, and it's like, is it even fair to like be celebrating things right now or planning, but it's like these big life events happen regardless of what's going on outside of your like typical like small window. Does that make sense? Like a larger scale is going to be happening no matter what. So it's kind of interesting to get like this like, I don't know, such a deep dive, I guess, like on this marriage. But it was so perfect to have like this convergence of all of these characters there with all these other tensions. Like having Homa there, but
and
he's like
Luthen there.
Right, and having Luthen there, who's like not there because of Mothma. Like he's there because of her I guess her brother, or her, what would you even call that? Like your daughter's father-in-law now. But what's his name? I already forgot.
Skolden.
Skolden, that's right.
Stekken Skolden.
Stekken is the
something like
son,
that.
but Skolden
Oh,
is the dad or
okay.
whatever. But he brought Luthen in because they acquired like this special Chandrillan like thing that was stolen. Which
It was fun to have Luthen there talking to the kid, saying who the military academy kid who was saying like, oh yeah, like all of my classmates are being transferred out, and Luthen's like, really? Where is everyone shipping off to? Like
he's there for the hot
Yeah,
goss.
like-
Yeah.
Like I want to go bomb all of your classmates
Yeah.
when they get to their bases. Tell me where they are.
Yeah, that was really good. He's so good. Like his persona, his architecture or his archaeologist persona is so good.
Is that what he is? He an archaeologist?
I would say yeah, or like a
He's like a shop owner of like
Yeah, but
rare relics.
he has to get them. I don't know. Maybe he sources from archaeologists, but
Yeah.
I guess he would be a seller. But I don't know what an antiquity sells person, I guess. I'm not sure. But I do want to kind of mention a little bit about like the what did they call that sculpture that Luthen sourced for Skolden? But it's like that Chandrillan, like it's like kind of like a figure pillar, which I think is funny because like we talked about Mothma being like a pillar of the rebellion, and she's always dressed intentionally like linearly as a pillar.
And Tay sees all of this like rich ass expensive
Yeah.
so this like giant ass art piece.
But-
He's like, really, you can't afford to pay me?
Yeah, but I do want to real quick just like plug a real life art history thing. In Athens at the Parthenon, there is a building there. I believe it is the Erechtheion, and there were 6 caryatids, which are female figures in the place of a column. So like where like they would normally be like a typical column, it was a sculpture of like a woman in a robe, and they're called like the sisters, and there's 6 of them. And at the Parthenon Museum, there are 5, and they because they were all stolen over time, because like Parthenon was ransacked and pillaged and whatever, and a lot of them were like carried out, and that's kind of what they talk about in this is like these were stolen from Chandrila, and they've been struggling to get them back. Well, like in real life, this is like a real story, and one of the sisters is actually at the British Museum in London still to this day, and has been asked repeatedly by Athens to be returned back to Athens to the Parthenon Museum, where they have like a literal hole in the spot where the sister belongs. So I thought it was really interesting to kind of have like this very like similar art history story like in this fictional universe, where it's like all of these 8 sisters is like some of them are missing, some of them have been found, and Luthen has found one and brought it back to Chandrila. So it's like it's such an interesting parallel. Thank you. But I just want to plug that real quick because I think that's fun.
But it's also interesting, Coruscant is kind of like Luthen's art shop is kind of, like this collection of all these artifacts of all these conquered worlds and stuff. Like in season 1, when someone was talking about like, oh, this is a dead language, I don't know what it means, and he's like, well, that's the beauty of it. No one knows what it means. It can mean whatever you want it to mean, and it's just
morbid.
Yeah, but like the way like, that kind of idea of like, oh yeah, these other people's cultures, they're just things for us to go and extract what we want from them, and we don't have to respect them as being equal or equivalent to our culture. That's a very imperial colonial think that Andor is a show that's very critical of, and has a lot of fun exploring that in the Star Wars universe. It's just like another like how they're able to get so much detail. Like every creative choice in the show, it just seems like, oh, that was such like the perfect choice for 8,000 reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know. They have a wedding hike. I don't know what else about the wedding stuff, or do you want to move on to anything else?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about the gorilla stuff on Yavin.
The Yavin stuff?
Yeah, that was like probably my least favorite part of these 3 episodes. Just because it's so Lord of the Flies to me.
I've never read that,
It's
but
like,
I'm very familiar with the story.
but yeah, it's just so it sucks. I think it is realistic in a way, like this like internal squabbling when it's high tension and no one can figure out what's going on, and like I mean you do kind of like have Cassian literally in a stormtrooper like outfit.
Or in a TIE pilot.
He's a TIE pilot outfit, yeah. And like that's gonna increase their tensions obviously. But that whole thing where it's just like they're rebels and he is a rebel and like I'm like god damn like
but they're all disorganized.
They're so disorganized. Yeah, it
yeah,
sucks.
they're just like a bunch of like dumb, uneducated, pissed off kids
who are hungry and scared. Yeah.
But that's how like a lot of rebellions you probably end up with these like internal infightings like this. Because you don't have like the resources, like that's why you need like rich people like Mon Mothma to fund these things.
But I was dying over Cassian. Like he was like a hostage, right? He's like tied up, and he's like telling them what to do. He's like, "You'll probably want to form a perimeter." He's thinking like,
bake some of this water. It's not gonna rain forever. You're gonna want something to drink.
He's like, God, I have to teach them everything. He's like, if I'm gonna make it out of this alive, I have to tell them at least to like do something.
And see when I was first watching these episodes a year ago, like I was like, this stuff is getting a little silly, and like when they're playing like rock paper scissors and stuff.
Yeah.
When he's like, I'm calling you out, a challenge, and then like you think they're gonna fight? It's gonna be like a knife fight or something. Like in the you think it's gonna be like the Beat It music video.
Yeah.
But yeah, instead they're doing rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
But I liked the reveal that it was Yavin. It's like, oh, we're getting close to. It's funny watching watching Rebels and Andor at the same time in chronological order. We see Yavin and Andor first before we see it in Rebels.
Yeah. Oh, I want to talk about Dedra so bad. I really liked the Krennic office meeting.
That was another thing that when I first saw the episode, I was like, what the fuck? This seems like the goofiest, dumb Star Wars show ever.
With,
what happened to my Andor?
The commercial thing, the Gorman commercial, that was a lot.
But it was all propaganda. I liked those, the two dudes who were like Imperial propaganda guys.
Yeah.
They're just like, like two assholes who work in marketing. I thought that was so good.
Do you know who they remind me of? The two magicians from Prince of Egypt that like fake all of their magic through science.
Oh yeah, they were voiced by like big people. It was like
Steve Martin
and
Martin Freeman or something.
Or Martin Short.
Martin Short, sorry, not Martin Freeman. But kind of reminds me of the same vibe as him. But yeah, that was really good. But you know what I really liked about all of this is like Dedra listens to all of this and she's already formulated a plan. Like she's such a problem solver. I'm sad that she's using it this way. But like I love the way that this character's brain works and like how fast she is to like solve problems and stuff. I wish she was like on the rebel side, just like none of this disorganization with like the Yavin shit would be happening if Dedra was there.
But I'm glad that she's on the Imperial side because that's like the. I mean, I'm not.
It's like a valid opponent.
Well, as a viewer watching the show, what I think is the cool thing about Dedra is that the show does a good job of humanizing her and making, party wants to root for her, and you want to see like this, what feels like this woman trying to stand out in this like male dominated workplace, but it's like, oh, but she's like a fascist. She's like, but it's fun to give the audience that predicament to work out mentally, because I mean it comes up in real life. That's like the Pentagon pushes to like employ more women, but like they're doing like terrible things. Right. It's like human trafficking is a terrible place for anyone to work, but it's like a very like male dominated I don't know, like area. Like I don't think like the solution to human trafficking is like, oh, we need to have more women work in human trafficking, that'll solve the problems, that'll make it better. But
anyways,
the show is designed to like still you kind of want to root for her.
I get what you're no I totally feel like I struggle with that as a viewer, is because I really like Dedra so much, and it's mostly because I just think she's written really well. Like and I think she's super smart. And I love that we get, like, someone who's not, like, a dumb, like, antagonist, I guess.
Not like the stupid Imperials and Rebels.
Yeah, like, we get a lot of,
or at
like,
least, like,
goofy
the ones in season
villains,
1.
you know?
Yeah, this
and
isn't Commandant...
She's, like, serious
this isn't
scary.
Admiral Constantine.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed, and I never thought we would have this, which is so bizarre, but, like, Dedra and Cyril being a couple is amazing.
Yeah, like their fascist love story.
It is ridiculous how much I hang on to that and love that, like, his mom comes over and gets put in her place by Dedra. Like, that whole scene, like, I love that sequence. Like, it is so interesting. To be following, like, the personal lives of two, like, Imperial people, and then I'm like kind of rooting for them, but I also hate them.
But you see them at work, and, you know, like, you see them, like, deal with, like, their family stuff.
Yeah, they're terrible. But I really love, like, they sit down for dinner and, like, have the mom over. We know that she's got all these issues with Cyril. She's controlling. And Dedra, again, she's put in the same situation, like, when she was in Krennic's office, you know, at that meeting, and she sees how it all plays out, and she has a plan formulated within, like, seconds of Edie, like, shitting on Cyril the first time. And I, like, because she comes in and she's like, wow, this is so nice and extravagant. Do you have spiced tea? How could you not have spiced tea? And Cyril's like, oh, I guess I'll go get some. And Dedra's like, no.
And then when he's like, I didn't even know you liked spiced tea.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen you drink spiced tea. And then she's like, well, how would you know what I like? You never come visit.
Yeah, you're always going to be put in a trap with Edie.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to make her happy. Like, she'll never be satisfied with anything you do, right? But I like Dedra, like, literally witnessing all that, and she's like, well, I am not dealing with this the rest of my life if I'm dating Cyril, so this is the plan. And I like when she says that. She's like, this is the plan, except I don't want to call it a plan because you have to agree to what I'm saying. Like, these are the rules. And she lays down those boundaries, and I'm like, damn, okay. And I love Cyril just, like, being dead on the bed, like, he's, like, fucking burnt out about his mom, and like, just lets Dedra deal with it. Oh, it cracks me up. But I think that was so well written and really interesting.
Yeah, like,
to see how calculated she is in personal life and not just in the office.
It would be like if you're watching the original trilogy of Star Wars and you see, like, some of the Imperials, like, sitting around, like, the round table in, like, the room on the Death Star or something, and be like, oh yeah, like, let's actually follow some of these people home and see what their personal life is like in the Empire. Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know if I have anything else on Andor. His speech that he gave to the woman at the Imperial base at the beginning, on that planet they're on, Sinar or whatever it is. It's like it's named after the family who has the company who manufactures TIE fighters. By the way, that's some, like, Star Wars trivia. But, like, that speech that he gives to her is so like inspiring when he's like, this is your true self that you were always meant to be, and you're just coming now that, like, you've realized you got to fight for this. You've come home to who you really have been all along, and it's very empowering.
Yeah,
you know, like he was like when he's like holding her hand, and he was like, yeah, like, this is like a brave thing you did, and it was the right thing to do, and
he's come a long way in a year. Like, he used to be anti-rebellion. He used to be on his own. And
this is what his mom's speech. Yeah. This was his mom's funeral speech at the end of season 1. This is what it did to him.
I like when we see big character growth off screen in a time jump too. It means, like, that character has still been thinking and growing even when we're not watching. I wanted to bring up one other thing, and it's, like, hard to talk about, but I think this is the first time we've explicitly had the word rape mentioned in Star Wars with
at least anything canonical.
Yeah, and that obviously was entirely stressful. And you know, like, you already talked about it a lot, like with ICE today, and how, you know, people were abusing their roles.
When we were watching that, I said, like, a DHS employee is doing this right now.
Yeah,
like, that's.
So I am equally impressed that they included this, and also, I don't know. I don't know if, like, sad is the right word, but it's emotional.
It caused it caused some ripples in the Star Wars fandom.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I can understand, I don't know, maybe like from a perspective that like, well, Star Wars has always been like these scrappy little good guys fighting some nasty bad guys, but in a presentation that's safe to watch with your kids. And it's like, well, I mean, go watch Rebels with your kids instead of Andor.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, there is like this really dumb Canadian asshole who makes some really garbage Star Wars YouTube videos. I don't even know if I want to say his name.
That's fine.
We'll just say Star Wars Complained.
Okay.
And he likes to make like really stupid, just kind of a rage bait content or like a rage mongering content. But he said he didn't like Andor because you could see screws. There were like screws on something, and he said there shouldn't be screws in the Star Wars galaxy. And then he also said he didn't like this because he said there wouldn't be any SA in the Empire because Darth Vader wouldn't stand for that. Which is like...
I'm sorry.
If
Do we know Anakin? Like, he literally pursued Padme after she explicitly told him no many times.
I mean, I don't...
So, I don't think that's the same level, but I don't think that I don't think...
Yeah, I don't think Darth Vader gives a shit.
No,
though.
he
Like,
doesn't.
That's a dumb... Like, if you can't understand, like, this show is made to show these authoritarian Imperials or, like, the bad guys and how, like, oh, yeah, that's, like, a pretty evil, nasty institution. Like, that you know, we shouldn't feel sorry for these guys, like, when Luke Skywalker and Han Solo shoot them. And, like, it's... yeah, I think that's just someone... It's very embarrassing that they would misunderstand Star Wars on that level and like make as much content about it as they do. But some people out there will probably know who I'm talking about because he's a pretty famous Star Wars YouTuber.
But I am impressed that they included that and pushed the boundaries of their show, which they've been doing like since season 1. You know, episode 1.
But I mean, like if you want to tell a story about like undocumented workers having to flee a fascist government, it's like. Well, yeah, that's I mean, that's a part of it in reality.
Fair, like this also happens to people who are like, if we quote unquote citizens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like this happens to people like anywhere that there's a person in power who has this like sense of authority and this like entitlement. Like that can come up. So, you know, I like it doesn't not necessarily like just in this specific situation, but
it felt so real. Like the violence that followed too, like the way that they shot her, like hitting him in the head with the pipe or whatever. But then like the way that he kind of like he stumbles away, like kind of dazed with like the severe head injury and like all of that. It just felt so like real.
Yeah, I am super stoked that she was able to fight him off too, and he died in the struggle. Like,
oh, she still has like the Dr. Gorsh PTSD. Like she's dealing with that too.
So it's just poor bitch.
Yeah, she's like, man,
I just want peace for her, you know, like she's been through it.
I like where her story goes, but yeah, it's very bittersweet.
And then just moment of silence for Brasso. I love the shit out of that man, and I was also devastated by his death.
Yeah, everyone loves Brasso. He's like a solid bro. He's solid like a fucking rock. Like he's always there for you.
Yeah, and I'm still just like he carried Marva in her funeral. You know, like that's her son too. And oh man, I was devastated by that. And then my only other last minute thought was I kind of wanted to mention like Vel still being hung up on Senta and her like trying to get more info out of Clea and Luthen and Mothma.
That's such a cool ending.
And she's so like, I love Senta. Senta's amazing. I love her. I miss her. When do I see her? She can't contact me. Like she's so sad. And like that's what I was saying. Like Senta like can't be this level that like Vel needs, and it's so hard to watch this like push and pull with them. But like when Vel sees Senta like taking away Tay, like she doesn't give a shit whether Tay is killed or not, but she's there like, Senta, I've been texting you for weeks, why haven't you responded to me? And now you see me in person and we can't say anything because we have to remain undercover and you won't even make eye contact with me. And Vel is just like big sad, you know. And man, I hate this situationship, man. Like, Senta, I wish Vel could just see, like, Senta's not a good partner right now. Like, she's got different priorities. And I wish Belle understood that. Like, she's putting herself through it. But yeah, I guess, I'm sorry. There's so much about Andor that I love to talk about. But I also wanted to bring up the Lita conversation with Mothma when she's about to get married. And Mothma mentions, like, it's okay to, like, if you don't want to go through with this. Like, I wish my mom had given me an out.
And she's like, no, I know why my mom was drunk at my wedding.
Yeah.
When I got married as a child also.
And Lita's such a fucking asshole. But it's like, it's always the reaction. Like, I feel like that's what happens, like, mother to daughter, daughter to mother, whatever. Like, it's like a reaction to how your parent is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, like, yeah, Mothma was against the tradition but felt forced to go through with it and, like, didn't have the out. And so she would never do that to her kid. But then her kid wants that. And it's hard for Mothma to be like, well, I understand my kid wants that, but I also have a really hard time supporting what she wants because I don't believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that push and pull here.
Yeah, especially after going through it myself and being in a miserable, loveless marriage now.
Yeah, terrible.
But yeah, I think that is true, what you're saying. I think a lot of parents, they raise their kid in the way that they think they wished they had been raised.
Right.
And there's,
So it's just like this constant struggle with growth there. And I did want to just really quick also mention, I really like seeing the Chandrilan, like, wedding customs. Like, it was very rich, like, traditional feeling of, like, enter my circle and do this dance. And then we have this first dance thing together. Like, it's also rich. Like, I love how it's written to be. It feels very realistic. Like, this is a real place with real tradition and culture and values.
Yeah, I never was as invested into Mon Mothma as I was when I watched these episodes for the first time, and just when she has to make peace with I sold out my daughter, I sold out my child to this political marriage, and I just sent my best friend to be killed by this terrorist that I'm funding. To betray the government that I am elected to be part of.
Yeah.
And
layers.
But and she has but like she's like past the point of no return. It's like what else can she do? Like she had to go along with all of this stuff. It's that entrapment that I talked about when we discussed season 1 of Andor. Mm-hmm. And when she just has to accept it and just toss down a drink and dance to the music.
Multiple drinks. Yeah. She's like, I have to be drunk like my mom was. So.
Yeah. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for that lady. It's like, damn, I've never cared about the Lady Mon Mothma from Return of the Jedi as much as I do now.
The one thing that I disagree with her feelings about, though, is her kid. Because she feels like she sold out her daughter to Skolden. But in my opinion, this is exactly what Lita wants, though. So it's like she wants to have that old traditional value. She wants to have this arranged marriage. She's met the kid. It's
something that I don't think Mon Mothma would have allowed. If she would have just been like, no, that's a dumb tradition. You're gonna wait till you're an adult to get married. I'm not gonna be a part of this. Yeah. But it was like, but this guy can help fund the rebellion. So
yeah, I guess in my mind, if it wasn't Skolden, it was just gonna be some other dude that she met that year.
But it ends up working out pretty well because it keeps her daughter safe after the events of season 2. But yeah, I know you wanted Mon Mothma to be like a good mom and be like, if you really want this daughter, that's okay. But it's like, this show isn't about people being.
No one can be happy.
This show is about the hard choices people have to make. But I have been pleasantly surprised how well it kind of balances out to watch Andor and Rebels. Sometimes I get like a little frustrated with Rebels when I'm like, man, these Imperials are so buffoonish compared to the scary empire of Andor. But other than that, they are good companions to one another. Like, I kind of need the lightness of Rebels to balance out Andor.
Yeah.
Like, this would be hard. If this was just like hundreds of episodes as heavy as Andor, this would be an intense watch. But
Oh, for
when,
sure.
when we flip over to Rebels, it kind of, gives us a little break. But let's get a little childish and talk about some cartoonish Star Wars. Let's go to Star Wars Rebels Season 2. I shouldn't say cartoonish. It's animated Star Wars, but I am very excited to start talking about my favorite season of my favorite animated Star Wars show. So the first 2 episodes, actually, the Siege of Lothal, parts 1 and 2. What happens, Taylor?
Okay. On orders to hunt down the rebels, and especially the Jedi among them, Darth Vader begins an oppressive campaign against Lothal's populace in order to find the group. The Ghost Crew starts working with the wider rebel cells, but are divided between joining the larger network and waging open war on the Empire, or staying out of a large-scale fight. The situation is even more complicated when Minister Makatua, fearing punishment for failing to neutralize the Lothal rebels, tries to defect to them in order to escape Vader, offering to reveal the truth behind why the Emperor wants the planet. However, Vader uses this to his advantage and orchestrates Tua's murder by shuttle explosion, framing the rebels for the act and turning Lothal's population against them. The Ghost Crew tries to flee but are cornered by Vader, who injures Kanan and Sabine and nearly kills Ezra before they finally escape. After being smuggled off-world by Lando Calrissian to escape the Empire, the demoralized crew meet up with Ahsoka's rebel cell, but Vader pursues them and proceeds to wipe out most of the rebel ships, discovering Ahsoka's presence during a mental encounter via the Force. Ahsoka is horrified to discover that Vader is in fact her former master, and her mind is temporarily overwhelmed in the process, aka she faints. She later joins the Ghost Crew as they vow to join the wider fight against the Empire. Darth Vader later reports Ahsoka's existence to Darth Sidious, who issues Vader new orders to dispatch another one of their Inquisitors to capture the crew of the Ghost.
I love the ending of the Siege of Lothal when James Earl Jones as Vader calls the Emperor. And Sam Witwer. We finally got to some Sam Witwer voiced Palpatine.
Hell yeah.
But when he starts talking about Ahsoka, and he immediately goes, do you think she might lead to Kenobi? Like
he's got a one-track mind.
Yeah, he's still obsessed with killing Obi-Wan.
I mean, kind of valid.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Kenobi literally left him there to burn on Mustafar.
And then he came and fought him again and fucked up his helmet and his suit and everything. And then they left him there again.
God damn it.
It's like
just fucking kill him.
Every 10 years, this guy shows up to ruin him.
Ugh.
Yeah, he needs to find Obi-Wan.
Honestly, Obi-Wan is kind of a villain in Star Wars.
No, you don't really mean that.
He should have killed Anakin twice. Anyway, the Siege of Lothal. I really liked Tua, like, kind of switching over for a minute. I feel really bad that she still ended up dying. Like,
I'm
I was
glad
kind
we're done with Tua. She was one of the
You
three
hated
buffoons.
her hats.
I hated Tua. I hated the Commandant. I hated Grant or whatever. Yeah, all of this. If you're a Jar Jar level buffoon, I cannot take you seriously as a bad guy. Like, the Empire needs to be a scary, serious threat.
She's not a Dedra, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What else happens in this that I was excited
Well,
about? Ahsoka and Vader having their Force meeting.
So, the apprentice lives.
Yeah.
That was Anakin's reaction. But, okay, so
she does not reveal to Kanan that she knows who Darth Vader is.
Yeah,
He
well,
straight up asks her, and she says, I don't know.
She's not entirely... She's, like, 90% sure, but, like, she needs, like, more proof. Like, later in the season, we see the moment when she's like, so this is actually true. I can't deny it anymore. But yeah, that was a cool moment to have, especially after we just watched all of the Clone Wars. So, and the cool thing is Rebels came out before season 7 of the Clone Wars, but like this stuff hits so much harder now that we've seen season 7 of Clone Wars. Like that final scene in Clone Wars of Vader holding Ahsoka's lightsabers. It's the ones that he made. Like, Anakin made her those blue lightsabers. And so, like, ever since then, he's been wondering, like, wonder if she's still alive out there somewhere. And so now he finally knows, years later, like, so the apprentice lives.
Yeah.
But the reason why he was even curious is because, like, she might lead him to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But I also like that. Okay, at the end of season 1 of Rebels, Kanan, who Kanan's a shit Jedi, right? He dropped out of Jedi school in 5th grade, basically.
Right.
Like he never he was barely a Padawan, never even came close to becoming a knight. Now he's expected to train someone. And it was a big deal for him to defeat the Grand Inquisitor in season 1.
Yeah.
But even though we joke around, say, like, all the Inquisitors are kind of mid.
Yeah.
But for Kanan, that was a big deal to take down the Grand Inquisitor. So I love that the show is like, well, we can't make it easy on our heroes. Here comes Vader. And Vader is just, like, so... much more than Kanan and Ezra can handle. Like, he schools them. It's kind of like how Vader kind of dominates Luke. If you watch the lightsaber fight in The Empire Strikes Back, Vader is toying with Luke the entire fight until the end. Until at one point, eventually, like, Luke gets one hit on Vader's shoulder, and Vader's like, like it hurt him. And then immediately after that, Vader chops off Luke's hand. It's like Vader had control of that fight the entire time, and was just kind of just playing with him, just like talk to him,
Mm-hmm.
And like here, Vader he uses like one hand on his lightsaber when he's fighting them. He's like, he can like hold Ezra up with the Force, and he almost makes Ezra like stab himself with his own lightsaber.
Oh, yeah, that was dark.
Yeah, so I like the I guess like the power scaling. That's what you call it in like video games or comics.
I like they get on the ship and Ezra is like, "Oh man, that Inquisitor is crazy," or something like that. And I think it's Kanan. He's like, "No, that's a Sith Lord."
Let me ask you, like, so in the past, sometimes I kind of just think of Vader and Anakin as two different people.
Mm-hmm.
But after watching like all the Clone Wars and then watching the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which I have some issues with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but I think it does a good job of making you feel like, oh yeah, that's Anakin Skywalker in like the Vader suit, like. I mean, like, and you see Hayden Christensen's face in that.
Yeah.
So I really feel like now, like, oh yeah, like this guy, he is like, this is Anakin gone to the dark side.
Yeah, I definitely feel that a lot more now.
It's kind of weird that his voice sounds so different with James Earl Jones, but we love to hear James Earl Jones as Vader. So like Palpatine made a suit give him like the most coolest, badass, intimidating voice ever.
Yeah.
We talk about how like Palpatine's got drip. As much as we hate him, like all of his ships, all the Imperial ships, the Stormtrooper
their
uniforms,
outfits,
like Vader's got to be badass. Like Palpatine has a good sense of design. That's a fascist trademark. It's like the pageantry is so important to them.
Well, it is because it's like it's a symbol of power and organization, right? You want to show people like we're organized and like we are tall and strong and work together as a unit. Like you're
not going to stand a chance against. Like,
right.
Don't even think about it.
You're presented as like a united front. But also, this is something that also art history-ish, but like the church does a lot. Like you have like these ornamental like stained glass windows and like these beautiful statues and gilded things, like this very rich, beautiful things. And then you have like uniforms for like the cardinals and the bishops or whatever, because it's one, like they're easy to recognize as leaders, but also they use visual storytelling for people who couldn't read at the time, but that's kind of what it all is. It's like this is like visual storytelling. Like you can just look at this group of people, like these Imperial people, and you get what they're going for. Like it's that. You said pageantry. I think that's a really good, like, but it's proof. Like, it's like, these are the things we're doing. And, like, even at, like, this minuscule level of just dressing our people, we're thinking about that at every stage, But yeah, strong opening arc for Rebels Season 2.
Yeah. Tarkin Town gets burnt.
Oh, yeah. Dark. And kidnaps the rest of the ones that don't die.
We forgot that that Lando comes back in Rebels in this episode. Previously, I was like, and we never see him again. But oh yeah, he helps them out. He phones it in.
brief.
He's just on a little hollow call.
Right.
But yeah, he helps smuggle them off the planet. But yeah, we finally get off of Lothal, so this is a really exciting time. Oh, we forgot to mention, by the way, that the episode opened with the Ghost crew working alongside Ahsoka and Phoenix Squadron. So they're teamed up with a bigger rebel group now. We have Phoenix Squadron.
Oh yeah, and there's tension because Kanan doesn't really want to be part of
Right.
a bigger rebel.
Yeah, and then there's more tension when we get to what happens next. But yeah, like Kanan, he just wanted to be like, I just want to be like Han and Chewie on the Millennium Falcon. We just kind of do our own solo operation, and we can work with other rebels.
Yeah,
but...
and Hera is like, my father is Cham Syndulla. We're not doing that. Sorry.
So Phoenix Squadron, it seems to me like they're funded by Bail Organa. Like this is what he's putting his money into.
Yeah.
We see like Luthen is what Mon Mothma is paying for, and this is what Bail Organa is paying. Like Bail seems to he's had the ball rolling a lot longer.
Yeah.
He's got like some of these blockade runners. He's got some A-wings. He's got or Captain Soto? Is he Captain or Admiral?
I don't know.
I think Captain, but yeah. So let's talk about the next two episodes. We get another two-parter here, but with the Lost Commanders and Relics of the Old Republic, we get some more Rebel team up with some old Clone Wars characters. Taylor, tell us what happens in the Lost Commanders.
Having barely escaped total destruction of the rebel cell, Phoenix Squadron by Darth Vader, Ahsoka Tano sends the Ghost crew to locate a former military commander somewhere in the Silo system, who has the knowledge of useful hideouts in the Outer Rim. The crew discover the commander to be former clone trooper Captain Rex, accompanied by Commander Wolf and clone commando Gregor. Kanan is immediately hostile as soon as he finds out about them being clones due to their role in Order 66, although Rex claims they removed their brain chips. Ezra negotiates with Rex for information relating to potential bases. In return, Gregor enlists them for a hunt by using Zeb as bait to catch an elusive Jupa. With the hunt successful, Rex holds up his end of the deal, but Sabine discovers that Wolf betrayed the Ghost crew's location to the Empire. A skirmish with the Imperial probe having damaged the Phantom shuttle, the crew is temporarily stranded with the clones, waiting for an Imperial assault.
And then the second part of the story, Relics of the Old Republic.
The Empire tracks the Lothal rebels to Selos. Admiral Cassius Constantine and Agent Kallus arrive at the Selos system to capture the Jedi. Rex gives the Lothal rebels a data chip containing Old Republic bases in the Outer Rim. Ezra tries to persuade the clones to join the rebellion, but Rex and the clones instead offer to delay the Empire so the Lothal rebels can escape. Agent Kallus commands the clones to hand over the rebels, but when Rex refuses, Kallus arrives with 3 AT-ATs. Taking advantage of a sandstorm and the Force, Kanan, Ezra, and the clones use the ATTE's main... Is that AT-T's? Sorry.
ATTE's, yeah.
Okay, ATTE's main gun to destroy one of the AT-ATs. Meanwhile, Admiral Constantine... What? Why are you laughing?
This is funny that you say ATTE for the ATTE and then AT-AT for
but
the... I mean,
it was
you're fine.
always AT-AT.
I
and
mean,
now they introduced other things. And now it's like, oh, should I say the letters? I guess I should say AT-ATs. Anyway, ATTE is like the Walker...
It's the Clone Wars Walker.
Yeah, the Clone
It's
Wars
like the
Walker.
Republic-era
Yeah.
Walker.
But
Yeah, the six-leg Walker.
Yeah. Okay, for people without visuals and without knowing the ship things like me. I know what an AT-AT is, but like an ATTE... I know what that is because of this episode, but like, if you told me that, if you just asked me what that was, I'd be like, I don't know. Like in a week, I won't know what that is. Meanwhile, Admiral Constantine is summoned away by Darth Vader. Instead of meeting him, the Admiral meets Fifth Brother, an Inquisitor who claims that he will succeed where Kallus and Constantine have failed. The Lothal rebels prepare to leave on the Phantom, but Ezra is unwilling to leave Rex and the clones behind. Kanan, Ezra, and Zeb commandeer one of the AT-ATs and turn its weapons on Callus's AT-AT, which Rex destroys with a critical hit. Quit laughing at me. Do you want me to say
I'm laughing at the summary. I'm laughing at how like the
so
summary gets
factual.
So yeah, like the Wikipedia summary didn't want to go into like Dedra and Cyril having like the mom over. It's just like a social event. But then here it's like we gotta tell you like this like step by step how this entire AT-AT battle goes down.
I told you these summaries looked longer than normal. Callus flees the battle on a speeder. Hera returns to pick up the clones and the Ghost crew. Returning to the Rebel flotilla, the Lothal rebels and Rex reunite with Ahsoka.
Yay! And then like Rex and Ahsoka hug. That was so sad.
That made me cry.
Well, especially now, like seeing like everything they've gone through, like at the end of Clone Wars, and then like they're still hanging out in like that Tales of the Jedi when like Rex and his blue Y-wing, the OG Rebel ship, was a Y-wing, was one of them Republic Y-wings. Because they were the first two rebels, was Rex and Ahsoka, the first two people to take up arms against the Empire. And Rex took Ahsoka to Naboo to go to Padme's funeral, and it's good to see Gregor and Wolf. I'm so glad that we have been watching all the other things, because it's like I've finally watched enough Star Wars that I like know the clones. It's like, oh yeah, Wolf, I know exactly who he is, and Gregor. It's like used to they would just kind of all blur together. It's like, well, I know Rex and I know Cody, and then there's a bunch of other ones.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get that way with the Inquisitors too. It's like I just be like, oh, some of them are brothers and some of them are sisters. But I'm like, oh, I know who fifth brother is. I know who seventh sister is.
Yeah.
We just saw fifth brother in live action in Obi-Wan. So that's cool, because this stuff was first. So it's fun how much Rebels they used in other shows. I know, like, a lot of people aren't as... The people who are fans of the animation tend to, like, not like Rebels as much as Clone Wars and some of the other stuff, but I don't know. You and I both love Rebels.
Yeah.
It's hard... Like, it's just such, like, the Star Wars I want. Like, when we were seeing, like, the A-Wings fight the TIE Fighters and in the Siege of Lothal episodes, I mean, like, there's blockade runners and Star Destroyers, and Vader is there, and there's, like, these renegade Jedi he's hunting down for the Emperor, just like we learned about way back in the first movie in 1977 when Kenobi describes everything to Luke. It's just such like the Star Wars I want to see. Like Rebels is the perfect animated Star Wars I would have made if I could go back in time and make a animated show for myself as a kid. It's exactly what I would have wanted to watch. And Andor is like, it's the perfect show for me to watch now as an adult. I feel like it's like the perfect Star Wars. If they never made a Star Wars show or movie again that I liked, I would be okay with that. It's like, hell, they made Andor. That was perfect for me. I've been catered to. I hope everyone else can get something out of the franchise they like as much as I like Andor. But I've talked a lot about how I used to be such like an original trilogy purist and an old school prequel hater. But I gotta say, like, I knew that was starting to change a little bit when I watched Rebels. Way back the first time I watched Rebels Season 2 in 2016, I believe. But I was watching the Blu-ray set right before Season 3 came out, if I recall correctly. But when I saw Rex and the clones go up against the Empire and the Stormtroopers, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm so rooting for Rex's side. Like, and I love the clone shit talk about the Stormtroopers.
Oh, yeah,
like,
you were eating that shit up.
Yeah. When they tell Callus, like, well, you better come with a better class of soldier than those stormtroopers. And then when the walkers are fighting, like when the ATTE is up on its back legs and the AT-AT is up on its back legs, and they're, like, clashing against each other, and it's like, it's almost like a kaiju battle. It's like a kaiju battle meets a monster truck rally, but also it's like, I don't know, like a World War II tank battle.
Yeah. It's very like kid-like. You know, like when you're watching like Transformers and someone's like, oh, they do it like that because that's how kids play with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that a little bit. Like whenever kids are like ramming the toys together.
Yeah, these are like all big commercials for toys, but like I was born in the 80s and I grew up watching Transformers and Ninja Turtles. Like this is what I was like made to consume. I needed this entertainment in my life. Yeah, I need to have basically the toys on screen fighting each other.
You know what else I really enjoyed in this was the hunt for that worm thing.
Using Zeb as
That
bait
was
was fun.
hilarious.
And Greg, like we saw Gregor starting. He was on.
He was already lost his mind a little bit before.
Yeah, mental decline or cognitive decline. That's what everyone accused Joe Biden of, right? And Donald Trump. They're showing cognitive decline. That was a big thing with Gregor.
He's wearing graphic tees and snorting when he laughs now, so he's definitely I don't want to say mellowed out. That's not quite right, but he's definitely having a lot of fun.
And Wolf is like a real grumpy old man, old clone. And, like, he's a little, like, he's not all there. Like, he got confused and called the Empire, but it's like, you get the impression, like, he's just kind of little senile.
But also, like, remember, he was the last one recruited to the rebels. And, like, because was it in Bad Batch that we saw Wolf meet Rex?
Yeah.
And was like, oh, shit, maybe I'm on the wrong side.
Yeah, he was still serving the Empire. But when he saw it was Rex and clones, he let them go.
Yeah.
So we assume he defected shortly after that.
But it makes sense then why he's still kind of on to... Like, he was the last one to defect.
Yeah, he was still more closely tied to them.
Yeah. But yeah, I really liked all the drama in this. I loved having the clones back. I like them being old men now. That's kind of... Like, that accelerated growth or whatever is still there, but...
Oh, when they're fighting the tanks in the sandstorm, where, like, they can't see each other, that was so like Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan with the Matara Nebula.
Submarine episode for Joel.
Yeah, it was like a submarine tank battle, yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, Joel in the live audience knows what's up with the submarine battles. Classic subgenre. But yeah, so we got Fifth Brother introduced. I loved when Ezra used the phrase sitting Minox instead of sitting ducks. And it's like, oh yeah, that's what George Lucas should have wrote in the script for The Phantom Menace. At one point in The Phantom Menace, I think it's Captain Tanaka, the chief of security. He says, like, we'll be sitting ducks. It's like, so there's ducks in the Star Wars universe?
Guess so. If it was the Avatar universe, it'd be sitting turtle ducks.
Yeah, well. Anyways, I think that might be all of my notes on the Lost Commanders and Relics of the Old Republic. Just, I'm glad to have Rex back in the show. It's interesting that he goes by Captain instead of Commander. But he said in Clone Wars, he's like, well, I didn't much like being a commander anyways, so
yeah.
He doesn't count that. He only counts himself as captain.
Well, they only did that for like a short period.
He does mention that he was with Ahsoka from Christophsis, the planet from the Clone Wars movie.
To the Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah, which at the time had not been shown on screen when I first saw this Rebels episode.
Nice.
So it's cool. It's cool to watch it on chronological order now and see what that reveals. Okay, so moving on to some more Inquisitor stuff now that we have Fifth Brother introduced. We're about to get Seventh Sister introduced, and always two there are. What else happens, Taylor?
Zeb, Sabine, and Chopper, with Ezra volunteering himself to avoid Kanan and Rex, head out to the Old Republic medical base in search of vital medical supplies, only to encounter Fifth Brother and Seventh Sister, another Inquisitor. Seventh Sister captures Ezra and interrogates him about the whereabouts of Ahsoka Tano, while Sabine is also captured by the Fifth Brother. Zeb and Chopper eventually rescue them, and they all barely escape the Inquisitors and head back to the Rebel fleet, where Ezra pointedly questions Kanan about the extra Inquisitors.
Yeah, I like this episode. We get to see the medical space station. You know, it kind of reminds me of, like, in Deep Space Nine when they go to Empok Nor, that other Cardassian space station, the abandoned one.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, they did like that scary episode that introduced it where Garrick goes crazy and they're having to, like, Nog and O'Brien are having to, like, hide from him.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought about that before this. I never associated this episode with that before now, but yeah, it's kind of a similar story. They're hiding from the Inquisitors on this abandoned space station. Mm-hmm. Ezra, of course, another Star Trek reference. He's spending a lot of time in the vents. Like, I keep saying he would love the Jeffries tubes if he came to the Star Trek universe.
I think he enters air vent or whatever conduit, like, every episode.
It was fun seeing Zeb get stuck in there.
Yeah.
I think Zeb stayed in there for like
Yeah.
10 minutes of the episode. He's there for a long time. But Sarah Michelle Gellar is Seventh Sister. So she's a neat baddie. I think she's supposed to be the same species as Barris and Luminara.
Yeah.
But
she's a different color. She's not green.
And she's famous in nerdy circles for playing Buffy the Vampire Slayer or
Daphne.
You know her as Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I'm going to show Taylor Buffy at some point.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, oh, this show is so tropey. I'm going to be like, but it was inventing all these tropes. And no one else had ever done this before. Like the term big bad was invented in the Buffy writers' room, for example.
I kind of feel like a little bit of that, because like Supernatural also did like a lot of the tropey things, but it was also kind of like a invent the trope time.
Yeah, and it was a very quick like Buffy went off the air, and then like 2 or 3 years later Supernatural. So it was kind of like the Buffy replacement.
It was that and like X-Files combined.
Yeah. Because it was around the time both of those had ended.
Yeah.
But anyways, Sarah Michelle Gellar is
one day we'll do a Supernatural podcast.
Well, who knows? But Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s real life wife, who does not do much acting now, so it's kind of a big deal to get her as a recurring character in Rebels, and she's it's fun to see like the competition between these two. Like they don't really get along. It's more that like the bad guys don't really care about each other, like but the good guys often win because of strength in numbers and Who else? So it was Zeb and Ezra and Sabine and Chopper. So they escape at the end when Zeb is in the Phantom, like hanging upside down in the shuttle bay part of the space station. He's like, keep your chin up. That's how they knew to like look up and see him. I guess the other stuff that happens in this episode is Rex and Kanan. Because Kanan is like anti-clone.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention in the last arc.
Well, they kind of bonded. Like Rex was like, oh yeah, like, I know how to like follow a Jedi general, and they had like this big victory against the Empire with Jedi and clone working together, just like the good old days. And then here they have some time to kind of talk and I don't know, play hollow chess against each other. But we see more of that payoff in an upcoming episode. There's also, I thought it was kind of cute how concerned Ezra and Sabine get for each other a couple times. Whenever like one of them's in danger, the other one's real worried. But I don't have much else. I like the episode though. It's the Inquisitors are good bad guys here.
Yeah, they're good Inquisitors. Like they're just scary enough.
Yeah, and like they're very competitive with each other. They showed that a little bit in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show with the Inquisitors.
Right.
But now that the Grand Inquisitor has been killed and it's like who's going to be the new Grand Inquisitor, they seem to be even more cutthroat and competitive against each other.
Yeah.
But let's move on to Season 2, Episode 6, Brothers of the Broken Horn.
Ezra receives a distress signal from Vizago's ship. Ezra and Chopper decide to see what has happened. When they arrive, they find out that the ship has been taken over by Hondo Ohnaka, who claims to have won it from Vizago in a game of sabacc. Ezra, assuming the name Lando Calrissian, works out a deal to help Hondo in exchange for some sorely needed power generators. Impressed with Ezra's skill, Hondo offers him a place in his pirate crew. However, Ezra and Chopper discover Vizago imprisoned in his ship's brig, and Ezra helps him get it back in hopes of developing a useful contact for the rebels.
So this episode introduces Hondo to rebels. This is the first we've seen him since the Clone Wars. So good to see Hondo again, but he's lost his pirate empire.
Right.
He's just like a lone operator now.
Maul has wiped out his people.
Yeah, it just makes me think it would be possible for Hondo to show up in the Maul show. I don't know if that'll happen, but
I love old man Hondo. Like, he is my favorite version of Hondo. Like, when we have him in Clone Wars, I like him in that. But him being an old man pirate, like, stuck in his ways, but still, like, I like he refers himself as, like, a Jedi sympathizer and stuff. But he's, he's up to shenanigans.
But he was a fan of the Jedi. Like,
yeah.
He says, like, I was friends with one. At least, like, I think I was friends with Kenobi. But he had a certain rapport with Kenobi.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they worked together. A lot of times they worked against each other.
Yeah.
But I pointed out a couple of moments in the Clone Wars where you kind of see Hondo, during the time of the Jedi, when they were, still a big deal in the galaxy, he had a lot of reverence for them. Like, he thought it was so cool to watch a youngling build a lightsaber. He's like, to watch a Jedi construct a lightsaber, like, I feel so privileged to witness that, and then when Darth Maul and Savage Opress, when they killed, what's her name?
The other
Depa Bellaba, whatever.
No.
Okay. How do you say her name?
Ali
Apalapala.
Wow, we really suck.
Okay, when Savage Opress headbutted the Jedi and killed her with his horns.
Dude.
And then when Obi-Wan is like, they killed the other Jedi, and Hondo is like,
what?
Whoa. You mean like they were too much for even you? Even a Jedi couldn't handle them.
Yeah.
Like he's like amazed by that. So. Yeah. Now that the Jedi are gone, Hondo, he's a little bummed. He's sad that there ain't no more Jedi. And then he sees this kid, Ezra, who he clocks him as, there's something Jedi about this kid. Like, Hondo picked up on it pretty quick. He's this goofy pirate, but he ain't stupid.
Yeah. He's been in this game for a long time, I really enjoy how Hondo is... He's a very well-balanced character. Like, he's funny and he's serious. And he's observant and he's goofy. He's very... I think he's really well-written. And I think they can do a lot with him, like, as this, like, kind of neutral character. Yeah. Like,
he could be a good guy or a bad guy in an episode.
Like, I like that in this episode, like, he makes friends with Ezra, and, like, they kind of bond, But then he abandons him!
But Ezra is also, like, the street rat. He's, like, the pickpocket in the market. Ezra knows how to be in the criminal underworld more than any other Jedi that Hondo's come across. Yeah. So it's, like... he's like perfect for him.
Literally, when Hondo tells him, like, oh, this remote control controls the droids, Ezra steals it immediately. Like, it's so subtle, too, and Hondo doesn't even notice,
And he was impressed that Ezra lied. He's like, you told me your name was Lando Calrissian, and I believe you. Yeah, you were the semi-famous Lando.
I like that he says, you lied to me? I like you so much more. Like, like, that's so cute.
Oh, he figures out he's a Jedi when Ezra saves his life, though. Right. When
he pulls him back in.
He has all those credits, and he's like, I'm rich! And then he's gonna fly out of the ship, and then he's like, I'm dead!
Oh.
But, like, at least he would have died rich, though. He probably would have been happy, but...
Oh, we forgot to mention, because it's not even in the summary, but
as
Morrigan comes back, we have to see his
the
nasty,
alien.
spitty lip mouth person.
But it's nice that he lost his credits and then just fled. So
he sucks.
He got Hondo paid. And I'm glad Vizago is just locked up in the brig.
Yeah, he gets freed. It's a win-win-win-win-win for all of the good guys.
Yeah, because we like
goodish guys.
Yeah, we like Vizago after season 1. Yeah. But he came through in a pinch, but here he is trying to cash in that favor. So
yeah. Oh, it cracked me up whenever because Hondo stole the Phantom, and thankfully Chopper had it on autopilot to go back to the Ghost, but. Whenever Ezra's stranded there with Vizago, he puts him in the escape pod because he's pissed that he lost his credits and his power cells and all whatever. And he's like, I hate children, and just ejects Ezra. That was so funny. Like, his line delivery was so good.
It's kind of like in Star Trek 09 when Spock yeets Kirk off of the ship in an escape pod. Yeah. He's like, get this man off of my ship.
He's like, I'm so fucking done, but I can't kill him because I also kind of like him, but right now I'm so mad at him. But yeah, that was good use of visual comedy
And
when he gets yeeted.
I liked that Chopper got to go on the crime mission with Hondo.
Oh yeah,
there's this.
He's also the perfect droid for meeting Hondo because he's also kind of a criminal.
Yeah, he's an anti-fascist murder machine.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
is what Chopper is. But yeah, he also can effortlessly thrive in the criminal underworld.
Yeah.
When he's like running around on one wheel with his little
Pew,
droid
pew, pew,
arms,
pew.
like shooting 2 different blasters, chasing Az Morgan out of there. It's like, yeah, like.
He's having the best time.
But the starts a pattern in Rebels, a recurring thing where sometimes Ezra will go off and do crime shit with Hondo. And it's I really like that he has relationships outside of the Ghost Crew. Like he has like this other friend who's not just another Spectre number person.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I like that he kind of has like a grandpa figure. Like, we don't really see a lot of like grandparents in Star Wars, but that's kind of like the age gap difference between Hondo and Ezra.
I always thought of Obi-Wan Kenobi as like a grandpa, but
Well, yeah, I guess kind of in the original trilogy. You're right. I guess I always kind of thought of him more as like a dad to Luke, but yeah, no, that makes more sense. He's more of a grandpa figure. But I really dig the Ezra Hondo team ups, so I am looking forward to more of their episodes.
cool. Well, let's move on to another one I really like. Man, I really enjoy Rebels Season 2, y'all, but Season 2, Episode 7, Wings of the Master.
Phoenix Squadron tries to break an Imperial blockade in order to provide food supplies to those who need it, but their transport is destroyed and the mission fails. Hera is then tasked to go to a planet whose atmosphere is very difficult to fly in to get a ship being built by a Mon Calamari named Quarry that can break the blockade. After nearly crashing her shuttle, Hera convinces Quarry to let her pilot the ship, called the Blade Wing, or B-Wing for short. With the Blade Wing's firepower, Hera single-handedly destroys one of the Imperial blockade ships, allowing the Ghost to break the blockade and deliver the needed supplies.
So this episode justifies the name of the B-Wing, which I need to go on a little tangent.
Okay. Step up on your soapbox.
But, like, the Rebels ships, like, like they're all letter names, the Starfighters. Like, obviously, after 1977, people were calling the X-Wing and the Y-Wing the Y-Wing because they look like a fucking X and a Y. Like, don't really have to think about that one too hard. So we didn't see any other Rebels Starfighters until Return of the Jedi. Because those things they fight the walkers with in Empire Strikes Back, those are speeders. Those can't leave the atmosphere. They're not starfighters. But in Return of the Jedi, when they do the big battle at Death Star 2, they designed 2 new starfighters that were called A-Ship and B-Ship on the concept level. But the A-Ship does kind of look like, it has kind of like an A-V shape to it. So people just called it the A-Wing. I was like, okay, you have like the A-Wing, the B-Wing, the X-Wing. I guess we're going to call the B-Ship the B-Wing. But ever since I was a kid, it bothered the fuck out of me because it doesn't look like a B. If anything, it looks like a T because it's kind of a cross and it has the S foils out. Mm-hmm. But then this episode is like, oh, the B stands for Blade. It's the Blade Wing.
Which makes more sense.
And they have like this really cool character, this wacky, colorful Mon Calamari flight engineer build this ship, and then they make a big deal of like, it can do all this cool shit. Like, look at this laser it can shoot. And like, I don't know. They made the B-Wing really cool, so I like it. I accept the B-Wing now.
Cool.
But I also like that this guy upgraded the Phantom to give it hyperdrive. Mm-hmm. So now they can... I guess like the writers are like, we really need the Phantom to have hyperdrive too, so we can split these people up more. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode also. I feel like this is one that I've watched a lot. Like, for some reason, this one comes up a lot. Or maybe it's just more memorable, like, in rewatch. But I love seeing Hera's love of flying expressed so well in this. Like, we saw that in the Bad Batch, like, as a kid. Like, she mentions, like, that feeling or whatever. But it's cool to get to see her. Like, I love the line she says, like, when I'm out there in the battlefield, like, everything's going crazy, and she says, like, well, that's when I'm at my best, is, like, when I'm flying, and when I'm doing what I am good at for the rebellion, you know? And I just love that it all kind of like, the way she grew up, like, being, like, a major rebel's daughter, and then also being, like, this pilot, you know, like, where I guess when she was a kid she wasn't a pilot, but this perspective pilot.
Well, her uncle let her drive sometimes, as we saw in the Bad Batch.
But it's cool to see how she's grown up and how those two worlds, like those two things that molded her or interested her, have come together, you know.
Yeah, and I like this planet they came up with like the thick cloudy atmosphere you can't see, but there's all these cliffs that make it just really hard to fly anything around.
Yeah.
It seemed like, oh yeah, that would be a cool place to test out your ship, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to see Rex on the Ghost shooting the cannon on the Ghost. I love that ship, and I love the character Rex, and I just love him being there. Taylor got me a toy of the Ghost for my birthday recently, and I finally opened it and pulled it out of the box, and have been having a lot of fun playing with it.
The way I did not know that it made sounds and lit up until he pulled it out of the box, and I'm like, oh, it's actually really cool, because this is not a plug for buying the Ghost toy, but I guess it kind of is sounding like that. But it's neat because, like, whenever you, like, kind of pretend fly it, like, it makes different flight sounds, like, based off of the angle it is being held. So it's pretty neat. I haven't seen a toy like that.
But yeah, I want to get a little Rex figurine to put in there. Who do I have? I have Zeb, Kanan, Sabine, and Hera. Ooh, I like all those people. And I need to buy the Phantom, because I think that comes with Ezra and Chopper, and then I'll have the whole crew.
Have the whole
I don't have the Phantom. The Phantom is missing.
Well, sorry, I didn't realize that was sold separately.
Well, no, it gives me an excuse to pick that up later. But
yeah, that's a different present for a different birthday or Christmas. Who knows?
And I want to get the Blockade Runner and drop that to it. Like, every time I see that in the show, it makes me want to buy that.
It's like a slippery slope of toy buying. Like, this is I would not recommend starting, because how do you store all of these toys? I don't know.
Yeah, I took it out of the box. I'm like, now where do I keep this
thing? I'm like, God damn, like, I put the box in the attic. Like, this box is huge, but I don't think we should throw it away in case you need the box. No. Like, I don't know. Anyways, these are
first world problems.
Yeah, totally. We can move on to the next episode, I think. Y'all don't want to hear about our storage situation.
Complaining about we have too many Star Wars toys.
I know.
Let's talk about Season 2, Episode 9, Blood Sisters.
Sabine is sent by Hera to acquire an unknown information courier. She goes with Ezra and Chopper, and they find that the courier is a clunky droid. They then encounter Ketsu Onyo, Sabine's estranged friend, who works as a bounty hunter and is now after the droid. When some stormtroopers begin to fire at them, Sabine and Chopper steal a ship and go off planet with the droid. Unfortunately, with Ezra left behind. That part cracked me up, and we'll talk about that later. Ketsu also escapes in her own ship, and after a confrontation with Sabine, captures Chopper, and the two meet up to exchange droids. Their activity draws the attention of an Imperial cruiser, and the two team up to escape by setting charges on the stolen ship. Sabine is knocked out and almost abandoned with the ship, but Ketsu saves her, and the explosion allows them to fly the droid to a rebel location and then rejoin Ezra and Hera before Ketsu leaves on better terms with Sabine. Oh, I really like... This is another girls' trip episode, kind of.
Yeah,
like,
that's a Star Trek Lower Decks term, but yeah.
A new girl introduced, thank God. I love having more people included, and, like, getting a little bit more background on Sabine. Like, these two met at, like, the Imperial Academy and both broke out together, and they both had plans together.
Yeah, they became bounty hunters together.
Yeah, and then... they were gonna join, like, a syndicate together, and then ended up not working out. But it was cool to see how, like, there was tension between them, but also, like, Sabine is very much like, I am so glad that I chose the path that I chose. and kind of ends up bringing her friend around to join
Yeah,
them.
but that's a fun thing in Rebels, and like I appreciate the Lothal stuff now a lot more after seeing the entire show, because at the end they come back to liberate Lothal. Spoilers for the end of Rebels, but on this podcast we can spoil anything but Skeleton Crew. But along the way, they come across so many people that end up helping them out towards the end. And Ezra never would have been able to liberate his planet if he stayed the loner he was in the first episode. And so this is like 4 seasons of him becoming a better person and like helping all these other people. And then, it all pays off in the end when there's so many people there to like help him. And here's like another one of those characters that the Rebels crew kind of picks up along the way and bring into the cause. But I just love the overall message and theme of that, of just like the collective.
Yeah. I did think it was really funny when Sabine and Chopper got on that ship and just left Ezra. Like, that kind of it kind of comes up a few times in this season, like where someone gets left behind and the person who's leaving that person behind is like, well, they'll figure it out. Like that happens later with Ahsoka. Like Ezra's like, Ahsoka will catch up. Like Sabine like kind of says that about Ezra. She's like, he'll figure it out. But that's kind of it was a good way for it to become a girls trip episode, but yeah, Ezra just being left behind really cracked me up because I was like, man, what's he gonna do? Just like stand there? Like, does he call Hera? Like, Mom, my sister left me on this planet. I don't know.
The ship that what's her name has, Ketsu Onyo,
Mm-hmm.
the Shadowcaster. That's like a really popular ship. A lot of people really like that design.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need a toy of it, but just want to point out that it has a lot of fans.
It kind of looks like it has like that. It's like a UFO looking kind of thing.
Yeah, like a flying saucer kind of.
It's more circular. It's kind of almost a little bit like the Defiant in Star Trek.
Yeah, I can see it. It kind of reminds me of a ship called the Outrider that was from Shadows of the Empire that I think we actually do see in Rebels eventually. I don't know if the Shadowcaster might also have like some. I don't know if it ever showed up in like any of like the old Legends material before here. It does look familiar, but yeah, I like her style.
Yeah, she's cool.
So we have 2 more Rebels episodes we're going to discuss. Let's start with Season 2, Episode 9, Stealth Strike.
Ezra and Commander Jun Sato. It is Commander Sato.
Okay, Commander.
Are
I said Admiral or Captain. It wasn't either. I'm thinking Star Trek ranks.
But. Yeah, but Commander are captured when a new Imperial weapon, an experimental how do we pronounce this? An experimental interdictor
class Star Destroyer?
That is so
it's
hard
a gravity
to say.
well. Just say the gravity well generator.
The gravity well generator.
The gravity well generating Star Destroyer.
It generates a gravity well strong enough to pull ships out of hyperspace.
That's fucking strong.
Yeah. Hera sends Kanan, Rex, and Chopper to rescue them using a stolen shuttle, stormtrooper armor, and Rex's knowledge of Imperial codes and protocols to infiltrate the interdictor. Although Kanan's lingering distrust of Rex initially hampers the mission. Ezra and Chopper head to the reactor to sabotage the interdictor, but Rex is captured as he and Kanan escort Sato and his crew to their shuttle. Kanan heads back to rescue Rex, and they deploy an escape pod, as Chopper's sabotage causes the gravity well projectors to overload, pulling the other Imperial cruisers towards the interdictor and destroying it.
Yeah, so this has more of that tension between Kanan and Rex, but I love that they're kind of arguing over how to raise their kid.
Yeah.
Like, Rex is training him to be a soldier, and Kanan is training him to be a Jedi. But I guess they both have a lot they can teach him. But it's fun to see them go undercover as stormtroopers and have to work together. That's a classic Star Wars thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, Luke and Han did it way back in 1977. It is kind of lame that they make the joke about how easy it is to steal the Lambda-class shuttles. Because that happened in Return of the Jedi, and so now like it happens like all the time in all these other Star Wars stories. It's like, it should not be that fucking easy to go rob the Empire, but I guess it is.
But Cassian even makes a point of that in Andor on a more serious note. He's like, you just walk in and you take what you want. You just like they don't even care.
True.
He's like, they don't care. They don't think that anyone would come in and have the balls to just steal something from
I guess
them.
our real world fascists seem pretty stupid and incompetent a lot of the time.
But it's also, he's talking about they have major ego. That no one can really get past them. But he's like, and that's what makes it so easy to get past them.
But this vehicle that can fly from star system to star system seems kind of like a big deal. It shouldn't be that easy for anyone to just get a hold of. But I guess we should say that Hera is Phoenix leader at some point. I guess after
she got promoted.
Yeah, I think that was in Wings of the Master.
But at that promotion, Kanan kind of full sends his support to being part of this larger rebellion cause. Because in the beginning, there was some tension there between Hera and Kanan of how much he wanted to really be involved in the rebellion at like a larger scale. He was fine being a part of it. He just wasn't sure if he wanted to be part of the squad.
Yeah, but that's like a thing in Star Wars. Like if you have starfighters in your squadron, whoever is like the top pilot, that's the squadron leader. So Phoenix leader.
Yeah.
You know, we had gold leader and red leader originally in the old days, and then rogue leader eventually. So yeah, good for Hera, Phoenix leader, which I guess she'll be for the rest of Phoenix Squadron, and she becomes a general. She becomes a General Syndulla in the rebellion eventually when we get more of the Rebel Alliance, or these different rebel cells start working together. But what else happens on Stealth Strike? I love more of Rex talking shit about stormtroopers how so I do kind of like this when like Rex is having a hard time hitting his target and he says it's because he can't see in the helmet, so he throws his stormtrooper helmet. But it's just, that always makes me laugh when I see that because he hits the guy with the helmet.
How uncomfortable Rex is in the stormtrooper armor the whole time. Like, because they even have like an Imperial make a joke that he's too fat for the stormtrooper armor, which is fucking rude.
But yeah, he's thick.
He's muscular.
But if you look at Tamora Morrison, like how he aged in real life, who all these clones are based on.
Yeah.
But, like in the book of Boba Fett, I'm not saying like he's like 60 years old and he's in better shape than I am. But is
he Mari?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's classic muscle thickness.
Yeah, even like in his old age though, like he's just a bit more swole than he was when he was younger.
Yeah.
And so it's, I don't know, it's fun to me that like, oh yeah, the clones age like how Boba Fett aged.
Yeah, that is fun. But I think they do a good job with the animation of this, because every time we see Rex, he is uncomfortable in the armor. Like, it is so subtle. Like, they say it outright, but in all of the scenes with him, he's like picking the armor. Like,
the
he's
character animation.
He's like moving it like uncomfortably, trying to like get comfortable in the armor. It's really well done. The
character animation is noticeably better in season 2, but also like a lot of the textures look better. There was some improvements in season 2
for sure.
Although, did you know that they cheat a little bit during like the desert fight and like the sandstorms? A lot of that was like live action particles that they photographed and then like put that in the show.
Well, I'm not.
If you're wondering why it looked so good. See, I bet they never could have done that on Clone Wars. Like on the Clone Wars, they couldn't even like draw designs on paper because George Lucas is like, this is going to be an entirely CGI show. Everything's going to be on the computer. I don't want any artists drawing on paper. Everything's on the computer.
Yeah, Lucas is a little bit of a control freak, so...
Yes. Like, he wouldn't let them build any clone armor in Attack of the Clones. He's like, no, all the clones are going to be CGI. Like, I'm putting my foot down. We're doing all the clones in CGI. And then, like, when they make all this stuff now, they use, like, physical, practical clone armor on the clones.
Yeah. But yeah, you're the kind of sign of the times, too. And he's very push forward.
Ryan Johnson said that, like, when George Lucas came to visit the set of... The Last Jedi, he was like, why are you doing all this stuff for real? Like, we can just make it on the computer.
Yeah, and Ryan's probably like, okay, George,
well,
did you watch the prequels?
Yeah. My movie is going to look way better than your movies. But,
oh, know. Oh, I wanted to bring up in the Stealth Strike episode, I thought it was hilarious when Ezra rescued himself and then he accidentally stunned Kanan and Rex because they're in Stormtrooper outfits.
Yeah. And he recognized Chopper.
Yeah, he saw...
Oh, we should say that between seasons 1 and 2, Ezra learned how to understand Chopper's astromech language.
Oh,
so.
yeah. He's been practicing. But yeah, that was pretty funny whenever he's like trying to pretend that they got stunned in a fight.
Oh, yeah.
And then Chopper literally like recorded it and he shows them all like Ezra accidentally stunning them both and they're all like, God damn it. Like, that was really funny. Man, Rebels is actually a really funny show. I think this is the first time I've realized how much I laugh when I'm watching Rebels.
Yeah, that was one of the things they wanted to do was like increase the comedy, but they didn't. It is a funnier show than Clone Wars, but they don't do like the stupid Jar Jar shit that Clone Wars would do all the time.
There's like good jokes.
This is the show that makes me have a lot of faith in Dave Filoni, because like the Clone Wars was like, okay, the Clone Wars is the Star Wars Dave Filoni makes if he has George Lucas standing over his shoulder, and then Resistance is the type of animated Star Wars you get when Dave Filoni is not involved in it, and he just tells the people working on it, like, okay, y'all do what y'all want. I can't figure this out for you. And, you know, that was a show that neither one of us liked enough to finish. But then here with, like, Star Wars Rebels, this is the animated Star Wars show. Sorry. But Rebels is the animated Star Wars show that Dave Filoni makes like by himself when he doesn't have Lucas, when he can, you know, hire these other people to work with. I think was it Simon Kinberg and Tony Gilroy, like there were like some other like big writers I think contributed a lot here. But I give Filoni a lot of credit for Rebels, and he had to make it on a cheaper budget. He had to make it be TV Y7 for Disney XD. You know, he had like a lot of limitations. And like my favorite live action show other than The Mandalorian is
Ahsoka.
It's actually, I mean, my favorite live action show other than Andor is The Mandalorian.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
That's what I meant to say. And I mean, that's like Filoni teamed up with Jon Favreau. So I think like, yeah, Ahsoka, I'm curious to revisit. I'm really curious to reevaluate that one now when we get to it. I think I might potentially get a lot more out of it.
I think so too. Like doing it in chronological order, I think is going to be way more fun.
But I'll say this, like the Ahsoka show, it makes me a little nervous about Filoni, because it's like I could also see like the direction he wants to go with like the weird Force mysteries.
You're like, this is Filoni without limitations, and he's kind of like Lucas, like he needs some limitations.
Or he needs to be balanced out with someone like Jon Favreau,
right?
Who is just like, you know, he's not as steeped in the Star Wars lore, but he's a very solid filmmaker. Like, the thing I like about Jon Favreau, he almost has, like, that J.J. Abrams quality I talk about. Like, he knows how to, like, capture, like, the moment and make, like, the moment a really big deal in a movie. Like, like the first Iron Man movie, like, you know, like, when Tony Stark, like, powers up his armor and he escapes from the cave. Like, that sequence. Like, you know, there's so many, like, kind of riveting moments like that in, like, the Mandalorian show that especially in season 1, that would, like, really, like, pull me in.
Yeah.
And I think that's Favreau's specialty, but I think it pairs really well with Filoni's style. So we'll see where Lucasfilm goes. I mean, like I said, like, I already have Andor, so if they just make shit Star Wars from now on, like, I can't be too mad about it. But, but yeah, so I don't know why I went on a Filoni tangent there, but...
Well, we're impressed by the comedy of Rebels.
Oh yeah. That's where, okay.
And we're giving Filoni some flowers.
Yeah, Filoni flowers. I like that. We also make fun of him a lot because he's kind of a weird guy who.
Oh, I love weird people. So I feel like, someone who can be themselves without feeling that like society pressure to be embarrassed about wearing your cowboy hat everywhere you go, like. I love you.
You never shut up about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
If you are this well versed in Star Wars lore and can contribute to it and make it even more interesting, I mean, I love it. I love people who love what they do.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely, like, he really gives a shit
Yeah.
about Star Wars. Like, this stuff, like, really matters to him.
Yeah. You ready to wrap our last episode of our podcast episode?
Sure. So, the final episode we're going to discuss, and this is the episode that now moves us from 4 BBY to 3 BBY. So, like Luke and Leia are, like, 16 and 3 BBY. We're 3 years away from the Battle of Yavin. What happens in the future of the Force?
This summary is super long, so bear with me. A lot happens in this episode. Ahsoka informs Kanan that she's continuing her investigation on the Sith Lord Darth Vader, but finding information on him is difficult. In the meantime, she receives word of 2 sets of coordinates that cross the Imperial net. She heads to look into one of them while dispatching Kanan, Ezra, Zeb, and Chopper to the other. Ahsoka arrives at her location first, a ransacked passenger ship adrift in space, and finds signs of weapon damage all over. The lone survivor, a grandmother, claims 2 red blades kidnapped her grandchild from her and disappeared. Ahsoka informs the team at their destination on a distant planet that the 2 Inquisitors are involved. Zeb and Chopper locate the Inquisitors' fighters at the spaceport and reclaim the baby stored in one before destroying them, while Kanan and Ezra find the distressed mother of the second child. Chopper takes the first child to the Phantom Shuttle, while Zeb encounters the Inquisitors on the street after relieving a fleeing droid of the second baby. Kanan, Zeb, and Ezra discover that the children are Force-sensitive and were targeted by the Inquisitors to ensure they do not become Jedi. They attempt to lose the Inquisitors through a housing block on their way back to the shuttle, but are overpowered by them. Ahsoka appears and easily defeats both of the Inquisitors while the rest escape, using the Force to jump up and join them in the shuttle as it passes overhead. The rebels escape, but not before one of the Seventh Sisters probe droids hears Ezra saying they are going to the planet Garel. Real quick, I think it's cute that Ahsoka's like, okay, I have 2 coordinates, and I'm gonna go check out one. And Kanan, Ezra, Zeb, and Chopper, y'all go to this other one. So she's like, I'm equal to these 4 people going on this other one.
I mean,
which is amazing. I love the confidence, and I agree with her.
she's basically a Jedi Knight. Like, she was...
Yeah.
We've decided she was at, like, her end of her Padawan training. That's part of what made Annie so butthurt he didn't get the rank of Master. Because he basically had, like, was about to cross the finish line as far as, like, training a Padawan.
Right.
That's what a Knight has to do to go from a Jedi Knight to a Jedi Master, is complete the training of a Padawan into a Knight. So, yeah, like, she's a capable not Jedi.
Yeah.
She's a capable non-Jedi. She's a Jedi in all but name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then, yeah, you have, like, Kanan is, like, a half Jedi. Ezra's, like, a quarter Jedi. And then, Zeb is, I don't know, Zeb is, he's equal to 1 Chewbacca, which is, like, a good warrior, but not not on a Jedi level. Like, I wouldn't put Chewie up against Darth Maul, you know?
Right.
Uh,
Something else I thought was fun about this episode is it being like a baby episode.
Yeah.
But they didn't send any, they didn't send Hera and Sabine, which I love. It's like, oh, they're going to make the men take care of this.
yeah.
And
I
then
said it
you
was
mentioned...
3 men and a baby.
And I was like, oh, I don't know that reference. I haven't seen that. But, I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, and they were so bad at it. It was kind of awkward. Like, these poor little babies are just, like, crying and, like, they don't know, like, pick it up and, like, bounce it or, like, comfort the baby. Like, and they're Force sensitive, so, like, they're extra sensitive to all of this stuff going on because they can feel, like, the Inquisitor's wrath and stuff.
We should watch 3 Men and a Baby, not because it's a good movie, but I think you would... It's directed by Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, how fun.
But you'll know some of the actors. Like, you probably don't know
Ted
Tom
Danson.
Selleck, but I know you know Ted Danson.
From The Good Place.
Oh, yeah. Like, a lot of people know him from Cheers.
And
but,
that
yeah.
one horror movie we watched. He got stabbed. He was in one of the horror movies we watched.
I believe you.
He was like 17.
I'm not gonna try to remember it.
It was either Friday movie or it was the other
Kevin
one.
Bacon was the famous guy in Friday the 13th.
There was a different one.
Okay,
it's
Joel
fine.
might know.
Joel,
but...
tell us what Ted Danson's horror movie he was in when he was a teenager.
Yeah, because we're too dumb to Google
He's our horror movie expert.
This is true.
let's see. Oh, but we're talking about the Force-sensitive kids.
And the Inquisitors snatching up babies. So we saw Palpatine was trying to abduct Force-sensitive kids in the Clone Wars and in the Bad Batch. And, so, there's a couple of reasons why he might be doing this. One is, he doesn't want these kids to grow up and, turn against him or be trained by some rogue Jedi somewhere. But he also is probably doing more, some type of clone experiments. Not Project Necromancer anymore, but something else. Because, eventually he does successfully clone himself, we know from the sequels. Creepshow! It was a Creepshow. Okay. I love Creepshow. Yes, yeah.
I was like, we definitely watched him in something.
Yeah, I was just talking about Creepshow with Dave and Cole.
Thank you, Joel, for looking that up for us.
Yeah, we love that movie. Did we watch it last year? Yeah, I think we did.
That was the first time I'd seen it. Anyways, back to this other Creepshow of these Inquisitors coming after kids. And in this, they're thinking like, oh, we just think that they're trying to prevent more Jedi from being trained, I guess. But also there was the Project Necromancer thing.
Yeah. And Ahsoka says like, oh yeah, like the Sith Lord in the Clone Wars was doing this. We stopped him one time. I don't know. I'm thinking how disappointed I am with some of the sequel trilogy stuff, with like the reveal of Palpatine and the rise of Skywalker.
It's hard not to be disappointed in the sequels.
Well, that's the only one I don't like, but it makes some of this stuff, I don't know, kind of weird. Like trying to figure out like when exactly did he figure out how to clone himself, and who was working on it. But yeah, Hemlock and the Project Necromancer stuff got shut down at the end of the Bad Batch. So this episode, which actually came out many years before Bad Batch, showed that he's still abducting babies way off into here.
Maybe he's just a baby eater. Maybe he feels like he gets more powerful if he's
drinks the blood of Force-sensitive babies.
I don't know.
He's like, I'm going to drink their midi-chlorians.
Yeah. He's creepy, so...
They go to, like... This planet is, like, full of the hammerheads. The hammerhead Star Wars aliens. Yeah. Ithurians or whatever they are?
Yeah,
are they on their homeworld? Like, why are there so many of them?
I don't know. I don't think they ever name-dropped the planet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think this is a really fun, entertaining episode.
That droid that gets killed immediately?
Oh, yeah.
Zeb got the baby from?
He's like, I'll take the baby, but you have to be a distraction.
Yeah, you take the basket and roll around as a decoy. And then he goes around the corner and gets chopped up by the Inquisitors.
Yeah, the Inquisitors are really good at their job in this. Like, they're very perceptive. I think in some ways, like, we get a lot of villains that are kind of dorky or quirky. Like, they're not very good. Like, they miss, and they're not as, like they don't hit their target, right? Like, they're not great at doing what they're supposed to do. And in this, like, Kanan and Zeb and Ezra are, like, with these kids. They're in this housing unit or whatever. And they, like, split up. Ezra's in the vents. And, like, the fifth brother, like, he closes his eyes and is, like, listening with the Force. Like, he's in tune. You know what I mean? And he lights up his saber and almost hits Ezra in the vent.
Yeah, that was pretty suspenseful.
That was good.
All of them having to work together to outsmart the Inquisitors. And, yeah, they do feel like they're in constant danger the whole time, under pursuit. We get, like, that speeder chase, and then Ahsoka shows up like a badass. So, and then pops out the white lightsabers. We get Ahsoka white lightsaber action.
Hell yeah.
And,
she's such a boss.
Teasing the end of the season that we're going to discuss next time, but spoilers, it is a big Ahsoka and Vader lightsaber battle.
Hell yeah.
That's part of why I say season 2 is the peak of Rebels. This is most of the first half of Rebels season 2. Next time we're going to talk about 3 more Andor episodes. The 3 Andor episodes of 3 BBY. and that's season 2, episodes 4 through 6 of Andor, and then the rest of season 2 of Rebels. That's going to be episodes 11 through 22, and we might do a stream on that as soon as tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be in like a crunch week.
Yeah, we've taken some time off the next few days. We just celebrated my birthday, and now we're gonna celebrate Taylor's birthday.
Yay!
She had her big 30th last year, and this year is my big 40th. So we got to both be in our 30s for a year, and then I left her to go be in my 40s.
I have 9 years to catch up.
But you get to be 31, like Section 31.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch the Section 31 movie on your birthday?
You know, it's actually funny. It came out on my birthday last year on Blu-ray.
Well,
but no, I don't want to watch it. Thank you. I'm okay. I've seen it like 3 times. That's enough.
You always tell me you think it's not that bad.
It isn't that bad. It's just kind of mid, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I think there's another worse Star Trek movie.
Yeah. Well, wait.
Insurrection.
Oh,
this isn't the right podcast for Star Trek movie
I don't know.
discussion.
Yeah, I don't need to fire up the Star Trek portion of my brain. I'm trying to calm down and wrap up what we're talking about.
But we're going to be Star Wars heavy this week, and leading up to May the 4th be with you day. So, and May the 4th, we are planning to be at the original trilogy, and we're going to probably be talking about...
don't promise this in case we can't pull it off.
I think it will be pulled off.
If you say this, then we have to do it.
Well, that's been the plan. This has been the projected plan for over a month, so, and we've been on track so far. So, I feel confident in saying that, and also because May the 4th seems like the perfect day to do the original trilogy.
Yeah, so we're going to try to do 3 different streams on May the 4th. So we're going to do 1 stream for each movie. I'm just excited just to have a day off to watch Star Wars with Taylor and our animals that like to make a lot of noise. Our cats and our dog that are get rowdy whenever we sit down to podcast. But I'm very excited to keep our other Star franchise project going and wrap up Andor and Rebels and then go straight into Rogue One and the original trilogy.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and of course after that we have all that other stuff we're talking about. The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, and the Mandalorian and Grogu movie in less than a month, right? What day is today?
It is the 24th.
Yeah, it comes out May 22nd, so we'll be seeing that soon, so... thanks everyone for watching or listening to us. Thanks Chris, Joel, Wanda for stopping by live, and everyone else, thanks for watching or listening later. Remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. Be a rebel, and may the Force be with you.